All right, so last night I tried something different in running 2 Yahoo Fantasy Football drafts at the same time. Got the 7th pick in both, which hasn't happened all season. I've done 15 of these drafts, never got the 7th pick, and then I get 2 in both. So what are the evens, right? I decided that I would target Hopkins in both. One of my last goals in my fantasy football drafting is to get a Watson-Hopkins roster going, get that correlation down on a certain team. So that was a priority. But other than that, I was looking to take 2 very different approaches with respect to my roster construction. With one, I wanted to go wide receiver, running back, and the other wide receiver. So I got 2 different teams going. One is a standard half PPR league, and the other is a custom cash with 3 wide receiver spots and a defensive player roster spot as well. So the Hopkins-Cook lineup, I believe, is the standard, and the Beckham-Hopkins lineup is the custom cash. So spoiler, I'm going super fast here so I can try and get all this in relatively quickly. So with both teams, 3 of my first 5 picks, I was able to land Hopkins, Kerryon Johnson, and Watson, which was great. The difference is with the standard team, I got Cook as a RB1. The other I got Beckham. I would worry about filling in my RB slots later on. All right, so Hopkins, at this point with my standard, I got Hopkins, I got Thielen, I got Cook, I got Kerryon. I'm feeling pretty good with that bye week spread, but also just having really solid players on my roster, players that I like and really wanted to go after. So I'm feeling good at this point with both teams. I got Jacobs as my RB2 with the custom cash team, and so I love Jacobs in the first 40, 45 picks if you can get him there. Went after Mike Williams because I haven't had a share of him on any other roster, so I thought he'd be a great wide receiver 3. I was given his upside, his floor, maybe shaky to some, but I really think that Mike Williams could be excellent with just more catching opportunities with Melvin Gordon not there. And I know Eckler is going to get some. He'll get his. But, with Keenan Allen, you never know if he's going to stay healthy. Mike Williams would be huge for the Chargers if Keenan Allen goes down. But even if he's there, he's still going to get plenty of points. So anyway, talk too much about him. I got Lockett, and at this point I'm building out my depth. With the custom cash league, if you have a defensive player slot, really build that bench depth first before you add a defensive player. Sometimes we want to grab the big names we recognize, but I encourage you to build, get a player or 2 of depth at both the receiver and running back position. Your premium offensive position slots, you want to make sure you fill them and make sure you got, your bye weeks accounted for. So like I got Thielen and Cook in week 12. I wanted to make sure I'm building depth around that bye week 12 so that I'm not screwed when that time comes. You should be careful when you get when your top 4 or 5 picks, you got 2 guys on the same team. So I was going after Cook as a tight end just because I didn't have a team with him featured, and same thing with Njoku. I wanted to make sure I got those tight ends in the later rounds just so that I could say I had at least one share of those guys. Got Eckler on the Melvin. I forgot to mention I got Melvin Gordon on the custom team, so that was great. So I made a priority to go after Eckler because I knew since he's listed as out, I could put him on IR and get Eckler and maybe Justin Jackson. Spoiler alert again. I got a waiver wire ad going with Justin Jackson. I'm very confident I'll get him. Since the weekend, found out McCoy is now on the Chiefs, and I want to make sure I get a share of McCoy because I think he's going to see a boost, an uptick in production being on the Chiefs with Andy Reid. A familiar playbook. I think he's going to do well in Kansas City. I think really this is best case scenario for McCoy owners. I mean, he gets a career shot in the arm, I suppose, because his arrow was pointing down, but now it's back up again Freeman, Breda, was just targeting Freeman because I think he projects well in the second half of the season. Breda, he is one of the few bright spots in news coming out of San Francisco. So at this point, I'm looking at players that I don't have rostered a whole lot. I got Akeem Hicks as my defensive player, but I already built out my roster. The only other goal I'm trying to do right now is trying to get Westbrook and Jacksonville D paired up on the same team. We'll see if I'm able to do that. I wasn't able to do that here, but as you can see, Lockett is in my flex on the standard team, and that's good. I got Boyd, solid wide receiver 4. I'm feeling pretty good about this team at this point, so I already felt good once I got the Watson-Hopkins duo going in with Thielen. I mean, he's just a PPR, half PPR monster, so Diggs more of a standard non-PPR play to me, but I still like Diggs and Thielen. I think the Vikings are going to get theirs on offense, assuming Cousins can do better and be more consistent, hopefully, fingers crossed. White, he is one of my favorite flex plays. I'm not a big fan of White as an RB2, but in half PPR formats, White's one of my favorites. Just with Gronk out, he may come back, which will be interesting. But with Edelman, he's an injury risk. Even if he's healthy, I still think White will get his with Michael there in the backfield. And I know pad backfields are make people nervous, but we'll see. So I definitely like White on my bench. If an injury happens, I just slide him in and we'll go from there. So I know Gordon's on my bench. This is the first team that I have Gordon on, so I just wanted to make sure I got at least one share of him. All right, so I got Gronk, Baltimore on the standard team as my kicker and defense. And just kind of going through seeing what my options are. I think I ended up getting Matt Bryant because now he's back kicking for the Falcons. I think they will win their division, the NFC South, just by a nose. It's going to be pretty tight. I think that all 4 teams could finish within 2 games of each other. I really do. Side note. But Pollard, Zeke signed that huge contract, so he's not a priority for me anymore. I guess I didn't know that when I was drafting this, but thankfully I did not end up picking him. Or did I? Did I pick him? Yeah, I picked him. I think what I was thinking is I would trade him to the Zeke owner and hope to get a much better player in return, just to see if he would bite on the handcuff. Still working on that, by the way. But anywho, hope you guys enjoyed this recap. I know it was fast, but I was trying to cover 2 teams at once. You can see I got Singler, Eckler, Henry, Brown, Trubisky on that custom cash team. I was still going on that. John Brown for the Bills, one of my favorite RB wide receiver 4s out there. So hopefully you guys enjoy the start of the season tomorrow with Bears and Packers. Hope to have a few more of these released in the coming weeks. If not, stay cool. Fall's just around the corner. And like I always say, I'll catch you on the fry. Peace.